First of all, thank you for inviting me to discuss the conduit proposal and the Scott administration's response to date. On January 26, just over 3 weeks ago, a whistleblower leaked information to a media outlet who broke the story that the mayor was in negotiations with BGE to stop paying annual conduit fees to the city and instead make capital improvements to the conduit themselves. On January 27th, I reached out to the administration to ask for details about this proposal. I requested information specifically trying to ascertain if the capital funding that BGE was proposing to commit was sufficient to cover the actual needs of the conduit system. On January 30th, I met with the acting city solicitor and the deputy solicitor and the mayor's chief of staff for 2 hours, and again requested more information from DOT about the actual needs of the conduit system. Less than 24 hours later, the deal was formally sent to our office to be placed on the BOE agenda for February 15th. On February 9th, I shared the past assessments of the conduit's capital needs from 2015 with the mayor's chief of staff, asking again for information from DOT, perhaps now using updated numbers that showed BGE's proposal to be sufficient. On February 14th, after receiving several statements of opposition for the BGE proposal, the council president shared his intention to defer the item to a future meeting. The law department responded that he could not unilaterally defer the vote, given that BGE had told them that the city must sign off before their February 17th presentation before the Public Service Commission. On February 15th, the president and I made the difficult decision to not enter the Board of Estimates chambers and deny them the necessary members for quorum, as defined in the BOE rules. Instead, the clerk read our joint statement to all present, explained our position, and then left. Without quorum, the board was not able to hold its scheduled meeting at 9 a.m. During a later gathering in the chambers with the mayor, the acting city solicitor, and the director of public works, an unsuccessful attempt to vote solely on the conduit proposal was made to look as if the item had been approved, when in fact, they were not meeting legally. Frankly, if you're familiar with the BOE, it wasn't even a very convincing attempt. No opening statement was read, no effort was made to call for a vote on the routine agenda, nor on any other items on the non-routine agenda. Nor were any protests or statements of opposition noted or public comment permitted, all of which would have happened at an actual meeting of the Board of Estimates, as is required by the rules and regulations of the board. They're also saying that by not being present, we abstained and so still counted towards quorum, which I have trouble even repeating with a straight face. But that's just a distraction. What's really at issue is what happens next. The mayor says he is committed to moving forward with this deal because he has the city's best interests at heart. I'm not suggesting the mayor doesn't have the city's best interests at heart. What I am flat out saying is that the mayor can be sincere about having the city's best interests at heart and still be wrong about what is actually best for the city. Just because you're in charge doesn't mean you're right. Also, the mayor claimed that this deal has been public since October, which is simply not true. This deal hasn't even been public for a month. For the mayor to state otherwise is clearly conflating his administration's long-term private discussions with BG&E and last October's consultant proposal about brokering a sale of the conduit. I have repeatedly said publicly and to the administration that I am open to this proposal if I can be shown that the numbers work. No one has shown me that. Maybe this is a good deal. Maybe it isn't. I honestly can't say for certain, and that's really the point here. As guardians of the public trust, we shouldn't be making this call until we're all sure we're right. Just as importantly, though, there is a structure and a process to these matters that has not been followed properly. I implore the administration to take a step back and do their due diligence on this deal in an open and transparent fashion that has been lacking to date. We should make sure that DOT publicly provides the numbers and projections that would be expected when we're deciding something of this magnitude. We should expect that the consultant being paid $50,000 to study this issue actually complete their report and share it with all of us. Baltimore City deserves our best efforts, and rushing to make BGE's trumped up deadline isn't giving us that. Baltimore deserves better. Thank you.